Hi friends, I'm Walker and welcome back to All About Nails, where we talk about vegan and cruelty-free nail polish. I'm really excited today to talk about another throwback review of one of Zoya's previous collections. Today we're going to be reviewing the first Naturel collection. This was released in 2014, so if you love nude polish, or you love Zoya, or you love talking about nail polish, then I hope you'll stay tuned for this review. So this is a throwback review because these polishes were released in 2014. They're actually the first of 3 Naturel collections from Zoya. I think Zoya does neutral polishes really well, and I'm excited to talk about these 6. So let's dive into some live swatches, and then at the end we'll talk a little bit more about which ones are my favorites. Up first is Taylor, and Taylor is the more khaki or brown leaning polish of the 2 kind of more creamier nudes in this collection. Taylor definitely pulls pretty brown on me as far as the undertone goes. It's a little bit more taupey of a neutral polish, but I really like this one. For me, it reminds me of a nude that I would really like to wear in the summer. I like to wear these kind of creamier nudes in the summertime. The formula on Taylor is pretty good. It's a little bit streaky on the first coat, so I will go in for a second coat. I tend to do a little bit of a thicker second coat, but I find that this one got totally opaque for me in 2 coats. I had no issues getting it up to opacity. It's obviously going to be super easy to remove because there's nothing in here, so this is a pretty easy polish to work with. I do like this kind of more brown or khaki undertone. I think that it looks really nice on my skin tone, but I know that there are lots of folks who don't prefer this undertone, so this is 2 coats of Taylor. Up next is the lighter neutral in this collection. This is Chantal, and Chantal is definitely a whiter. It's a little bit more creamy. It doesn't have as much of that brown undertone as Taylor, and so Chantal is definitely going to need a second coat. I found it a little bit streaky and patchy. This one is not my favorite on me. I think it makes my skin tone look a little bit red. My hands look a little bit red with these super creamy nudes on them, but I know a lot of people that these look absolutely lovely on. So you are looking at 2 coats of Chantal. And Zoya describes Chantal as a nude vanilla cream, which seems pretty accurate to me. Alright, and then since these 2 are so similar, I did just want to show you close up these 2. This is Chantal and Taylor. So Chantal is on the left and Taylor is on the right. And you can see in the bottle, they honestly look almost identical. Taylor is a little bit darker, but on the nail, I think you can really see those differences. So Taylor is here, and Chantal are the 2 lighter fingers. So I think you can really see the difference between these when you see them up close. Next is probably the most popular shade from this collection. This is Rue, and Zoya re-promoted Rue in the Bridal Bliss collection in January 2018, and this one is super popular. Everybody talks about it. It is this really soft, neutral mauve shade, and I've actually compared this one to several other neutral mauves from Zoya's collection in one of my first videos ever, because Rue is pretty popular, but I don't love it on my skin tone. It's a little bit too washed out for me. I don't think it looks fabulous on me. The formula on Rue is great. You know, it's a little bit streaky on that first coat, but as you can see here, the second coat really just brings it all the way up to opacity. I don't think I've ever needed to do 3 coats of Rue, and it is a really soft, delicate color, and I can see how it's really popular because it does have, you know, a splash of color, but like I said, there are some other colors in this category that I prefer more on my skin tone. But you're looking at 2 coats of Rue. And we're gonna go just about 1 shade deeper here. This color is Brigitte, and Brigitte is a little bit more pink. It's a little bit more obviously pink. I would say this is still a mauve because it still has that kind of purple undertone. It's probably actually even more of a true mauve than Rue is. But this one I like a little bit more on my nails. It is a little bit deeper, and so I don't think it makes me look quite as washed out as Rue does. The formula here is really similar to Rue. It's a little bit streaky on that first coat, but your second coat brings you all the way up to opacity. It's a really pretty, you know, glossy polish. So this one is a nice alternative if Rue doesn't quite have as much color as you would like. And so you are looking at 2 coats of Brigitte. And then again, getting about one step darker. This time we're going a little bit more purple. This is Odette. And Odette is a really nice polish. This one is described as an orchid cream, and I really like this one. I really like how it looks on my skin tone. This to me is not super neutral for my skin tone. On somebody else's skin it might be a little bit more of a neutral polish, but because this pulls so heavily purple on the nails, it does look to me like I'm wearing a purple polish. The formula on here is just like the other ones in this collection. It's a little bit patchy on the first coat, but gets all the way up to opacity in 2 coats. And so you're looking at 2 coats of the beautiful Odette. And the last polish in this collection is Normani. This is the kind of most brown pulling polish in this collection. And so this one is, I think, a really interesting mix of brown and gray. So it's not a, you know, kind of milk chocolate cream. There's definitely a lot of gray in here and even a little bit of purple. And I find this formula to be really nice, just like the others. It's a little bit streaky on the first coat, but goes on, you know, really evenly, no issues. And on the second coat, it gets totally up to opacity. I think this one is a really nice deep color on someone with my skin tone. I think this works really well for like a fall neutral because it has, you know, a little bit of that brown plumminess to it. And again, that second coat brings us all the way up to opacity, and this is 2 coats of Normani. Alright, so I think the polish in this collection that probably is the most popular in Zoya's collection right now is Rue. Rue is super popular. It's this really, really gorgeous, soft, neutral mauve. It was also re-promoted in the Bridal Bliss collection in January 2018, so it's gotten, you know, kind of a second wind from that re-promotion. But honestly, my favorite of these 2 kind of neutral mauve shades is Brigitte. I really like this one. I think that it is just a little bit more saturated, and on my skin tone it works a little bit more for me. I've done a comparison of these 2 shades and a couple other like neutrally mauve shades from Zoya, and so I will link that up above if you want to see more about these colors. But Brigitte is one of my favorites from this collection. Alright, and then between these 2 kind of creamy nude colors, Taylor and Chantal, I think Taylor is my favorite. Taylor is a little bit more almost taupey. It's a little bit darker than Chantal. It's not quite as kind of light. It's got a little bit more darkness to it, and so I like Taylor. I think it works on my skin tone a little bit better. I will say Taylor is not my favorite creamy nude from Zoya, but it's my favorite of the creamy nudes in this collection. And then the other 2 in this collection I think are really great. I like both Odette and Normani. Normani is probably my favorite. Awesome, this collection has been out for a while, so if you have some of these, if you love them, let me know down below. Otherwise, let me know what your favorite neutral nude shades are from Zoya. I think they have a lot, and I think they're so, so, so beautiful. So I'd love to hear which ones are your favorites. As always, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, consider subscribing because I would love to hang out with you the next time that I sit down to chat about nail polish. And as always, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you taking a couple minutes to hang out with me and chat about nail polish, and I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. I can't wait to see you in the next one.